Hello, ladies. Welcome back. This is Mina Irfan, and today we're talking about gender roles in modern healthy relationships and marriages. I know that at least my followers and my clients and students really want to have that deep romantic relationship with their partners. We want our partners to pursue us. We want our partners to be romantic. We want our partners to be our best friends. We want them to be our providers and protectors. But we often don't know how to activate this really natural gut level response from our partners. So today I've decided to do this video and to really kind of dive deep into what this looks like in modern day relationships. So first, let's look at the three different stages of what gender roles can look like. And keep in mind that there's no right and wrong answer. It just depends on what you're looking for in your relationship and what your partner is looking for. So the stage one sort of era of this is the pre-feminist era, right? So gender roles were kind of naturally occurring in this era. Think of the 1950s housewife, you had your role and your partner had his role, and it was pretty clear. It may have been unsaid and unspoken, but it was pretty clear what your role was and what your partner's role was. And of course, there's cons and pros to this. The pros are relationships were probably easier in that aspect of you knew what your role was. But of course, if you ended up with a partner where there was a little bit of a imbalance in your rights or how much say you had in the relationship, that would obviously be a con. So I think there's cons and pros to the stage, but that was the stage one. Stage two, which primarily is what most relationships end up in currently in this era that we're living in, is the roommate / 50-50 partnership. In this stage, one of the biggest pros is that you may have more of your superficial survival needs met. You can split the chores 50-50. You can split the finances, finance obligations 50-50. And you can have a really great friendship in this stage. One of the biggest con in this stage is that the passion and the romance dies. I believe that the way that human beings have naturally evolved, the 50-50 stage is not ideal for a lot of people. It is if you just want to have a basic level friendship with your partner. You want to have that roommate, he's got your back, you've got his back. You do half of everything and he does half of everything, and you can have a pretty decent life in this stage, really. But if you're looking for romance and that deep passion and that deep kind of just pursuing energy from him, you're probably not going to get it in this stage. You can't negotiate yourself into that. Unfortunately, it's not going to inspire him. You can give him ultimatums, you can set the rules for this, but it's always going to feel kind of fake to you and to him because it's not going to be coming from that natural space. So again, you can be friends in this stage and have a really beautiful relationship, but it's not going to be that fairy tale romance, his energy constantly coming, pursuing towards you. Stage three, which is what I call the conscious couples stage, and the stage that I believe a lot of couples, a lot of conscious people are moving towards, it's where you intentionally use gender roles because you realize that if you want to inspire that gut level, chasing and pursuing, and that gut level providing and protecting instincts, then those gender roles, that polarity will be important. And this is where you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak, because you can have all of your superficial kind of survival needs met, as well as all of your deep romance and love and passion and that spiritual connection, this is where you're going to feel like you're constantly forever in the honeymoon stage. You could be married for 40 years and still feel like you're in the honeymoon stage in this, because you're really intentionally using your gender roles to your advantage. So why are gender roles important? Okay, so in order to kind of dive into that, let's understand that there are things that are in our conscious awareness, and then there's things that are in our unconscious awareness. So you can show up into a relationship and know in your conscious awareness that you want a partner that's going to help you with the chores and that's going to be there for you and pay half the bills and pick up the kids half the time. And that all of that, like, you can negotiate with someone, right? Like, that's all in your conscious awareness and you can work through that. But in your unconscious awareness, if you're a feminine energy woman and if you want that deep-seated romance and that pursuing energy, there's certain things that you can't negotiate your way out of, right? It's in your unconscious awareness, because that is how the masculine and the feminine has evolved. That's just our deep-seated need to be pursued by a man, to be provided for, to be protected for. And you're not going to inspire that from him through conversations, through that conscious awareness. Like, that's just something that is a gut level reaction that you're going to have to inspire from your being on the opposite pole of that. So one of the things that I routinely see in my relationship coaching practice is that a lot of women come in saying that they want these gender roles, like they want the man to provide and protect, but they don't want to do any of the things. They don't want to embody any of the things that are going to inspire that in their partner. And that's where it falls apart really, really quickly. So one of the things that I advise first and foremost is you create a love list. Whether you're single or married or in a relationship, you have a love list. And the love list isn't so much to have a list of qualities that you want in a partner, but it's for you to realize what you need to be doing or embodying to be the reciprocal of those qualities. So, for example, if you want a partner, on your love list, you put down that you want someone that's a provider, then you need to be the reciprocal of that, someone that can surrender to his leadership and someone who can receive his providing and someone who can hold on to that opposite pole and ignite that in him on a gut level, not negotiate through the brain to brain or mind to mind, but really ignite it on a unconscious awareness level. So I know that a lot of people have these love lists where they put, oh, I want 6'2", dark, tall, dark, and handsome. This isn't what a love list is about. It's so you become really, really clear on what your part in this is and what you need to embody to ignite this in your partner. What a love list can also do is make it really clear when you're dating and you're getting to know someone, what your highest values are, so that you can find a partner who also values that. It's because if you are a conscious person and you know that you want to have a relationship, a conscious relationship where you're intentionally using your gender roles and igniting those gut level responses, and you are dating someone who was raised by, 3 generations of feminists, and he's all about 50-50 everything, and, you do this and I do this, then that's something that you can, figure out in the early stages, because there's a misalignment there of your core intentional values. Now, what I have found is that men are a lot more flexible in this, and if you really look at it, the gender roles haven't changed all that much for men. They have, but not that much, but they've drastically changed for women. And so, of course, men are just responding to the change that they're seeing in women. And if you are really embodying the roles that you want to, the opposite role of what you want to ignite in your partner, it's really a lot easier to get that in a man. You know, it's not that confusing if you're really embodying it. Where it's confusing is if you're saying one thing, but you're embodying the opposite. And I have seen this, you know, when women come to me and they're talking about what they want in a partner, and then what they're embodying is quite the opposite, like it's in the wrong direction, right? First, for example, they're talking about how they want him to be a provider, but then how they want to be in a 50-50 financial situation. Well, you know, how are you defining provider then? You know, like, we need to get really, really clear. And again, there's no wrong answer or right answer. It's just what you desire. I actually love that we live in an era now where we have all these wonderful choices, and we get to decide how we're going to design our ideal life. But we need to be really, really clear on this, because when we're saying one thing, as I said, and doing something again a different way, then we're sending mixed messages, and that's where all the confusion comes in, and that's where our partners get really, really confused, and they don't know how to respond to us. So I hope that you found this helpful. I have 2 programs that I'm listing in the description box of this video. The 90-day relationship rehab. This is to get you out of that stage 2 roommate 50-50. And then I have the Conscious Couples Intelligent Love Intensive, which is a really advanced level, conscious level program to get you into that intentional use of gender roles. So if you're new to this work, I would definitely start with the 90-day relationship rehab program and then work yourself up to the Conscious Couples. I do have a 20% off code right now, which will expire soon. And the code is LOVED, LOVED, which you can find linked in the description box. And you can find these 2 programs, as well as all of my inner work programs, on theuniverseguru.com. So I'll see you in the next one. I hope you found this helpful. Bye.